If you're a hybrid creator, someone who shoots both photos and video on the same camera, you already know the struggle. Most lenses are built for one job. They're either sharp and fast for stills or smooth and breathing free for video, but almost never both. Today that changes. In this video, I'm breaking down the only 6 lenses on the market right now that actually earn the title hybrid lens. Lenses engineered from the ground up to work equally well behind a viewfinder and behind a video monitor. From Canon's cinema-inspired power zooms to Sony's featherweight G Master Glass, this list covers every budget and every focal length you'll need. Stick around till the end because I'm also going to tell you which one the community is loving the most right now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends who are into photography or videography. Let's get into it. Before we jump into the list, let's quickly clear up what hybrid lens really means, because it gets thrown around a lot. A true hybrid lens usually has a constant aperture across the zoom range, so your exposure doesn't shift while zooming. It has minimal focus breathing, meaning the frame doesn't visibly zoom in or out when you rack focus, a huge deal for filmmakers. Many of them add a clickable or a stepless aperture ring for silent exposure changes while recording. Some even offer power zoom for buttery smooth zoom pulls, and almost all of them come with weather sealing for reliability on set or on location. Keep these features in mind because every lens on this list checks most, if not all, of these boxes. The Canon RF 24-105mm f2.8L ISU-SMZ is the lens that basically started this entire hybrid category for Canon, and it does not hold back. It's the world's first 24-105mm zoom with a constant f2.8 aperture, which alone makes it a standout. But what really sets it apart is the video-first engineering underneath. It offers up to 5.5 stops of stabilization on its own, and a massive 8 stops when paired with in-body stabilization, which is an incredible number for handheld run-and-gun shooting. Reviewers have consistently praised its optical performance, with several noting it matches or beats the sharpness of Canon's own RF 24-70mm f2.8, while adding the extra reach of a 105mm telephoto end. It also supports an optional power zoom adapter for smooth cinematic zoom transitions, and its stepless, customizable aperture ring is a dream for videographers who need silent exposure pulls mid-shot. Photographers who've tested it in studio settings describe results as noticeably sharper than the older f4 version, and video shooters call the footage nothing short of cinematic, even in extreme lighting. It's a big premium lens with a big premium price tag, but for anyone serious about combining stills and cinema-quality video in one body, this is widely considered the benchmark hybrid zoom on the Canon system today. The Sony FE 24-70mm f2.8 GM2 is arguably the most complete all-rounder on this entire list, and it's easy to see why the Sony community treats it as a must-have. It holds the title of the world's smallest and lightest 24-70mm f2.8 standard zoom autofocus lens, weighing significantly less than every major competitor, including Sigma's own Art Series version. But this isn't just about size. Sony rebuilt this lens from the inside out, minimizing focus breathing, focus shift, and axial shift during zooming, all specifically to serve video shooters who need clean, distraction-free focus pulls. It even supports the in-camera breathing compensation function on select alpha and cinema line bodies. On the still side, reviewers highlight outstanding edge-to-edge sharpness, wide open at f2.8, fast and reliable autofocus that easily keeps up with 30 frames per second burst shooting, and a newly added aperture ring for more tactile manual control. Hybrid shooters who've used it on extended travel trips report the autofocus as phenomenal, with 0 issues across months of mixed photo and video work. It's positioned as Sony's flagship standard zoom, and the consensus across the board is that it delivers pro-level results in both disciplines without forcing you to compromise on portability. The Canon RF 20-50mm f4 LISU-SMPZ takes a completely different approach compared to the other lenses on this list, and that's exactly what makes it special. This is Canon's first full-frame L-series lens with a genuine built-in power zoom, no external adapter required, driven internally by dual nano USM motors for smooth, precise zoom control. What really impresses reviewers is that Canon built in both a power zoom mode for video and a manual zoom mode for photographers who still prefer a traditional zoom ring feel, giving you the best of both worlds in one switch. It offers up to 6 stops of stabilization on its own and 8 stops when combined with in-body stabilization, along with strong focus breathing suppression that video shooters have specifically praised. Despite all this L-series performance, it remains impressively compact and lightweight, making it a favorite among travel shooters, solo content creators, and vloggers who don't want to attract attention with a bulky lens. Early hands-on reviewers have called the autofocus quick and decisive for both stills and video, and the lens has been described as an outstanding companion to Canon's VCM hybrid prime lineup, thanks to its matching 67mm filter thread. For creators who want cinema-style zoom control without paying cinema lens prices, this lens has quickly become a community favorite. The Sigma 28-105mm f2.8 DGD-N Art has earned a reputation as the smartest value pick in the entire hybrid category, and reviewers can't stop talking about how much lens you get for the price. It extends the traditional f2.8 standard zoom range all the way out to 105mm, giving photographers and videographers extra reach without sacrificing that bright, constant aperture. What really stands out in testing is the almost complete absence of focus breathing, with reviewers noting there's surprisingly little to speak of, which makes it a genuine pleasure for anyone doing frequent focus pulls in video work. Sharpness has been called excellent across the board, staying impressively strong even out at 105mm, and the lens comes packed with videographer-friendly touches like a lockable, clickable aperture ring, dual A f-lock buttons, and a magnesium alloy build that keeps weight under 1 kilogram. Multiple reviewers have specifically recommended it for weddings, events, interviews, and editorial work, calling it a lens that will appeal for both video and stills when excellent coverage and quality are required. At roughly half the price of comparable Canon options, it consistently gets praised as the lens that proves you don't need to spend a fortune to get true hybrid performance. The Sony FE 20-70mm f4G stands out on this list simply because of how unique its focal range is. Instead of the usual 24mm starting point, this lens goes all the way to 20mm, giving landscape architecture and interior shooters a noticeably wider field of view without needing to carry a separate wide-angle lens. Despite that extra range, it remains one of the lightest standard zooms available, weighing under 500 grams, which reviewers consistently point out as a major win for all-day handheld shooting and travel. On the video side, it includes an iris lock switch and a declickable aperture ring specifically built for hybrid creators, along with reduced focus breathing and minimized focus shift while zooming. Independent testers have found autofocus to be fast, quiet, and responsive across multiple Sony bodies, and sharpness at 70mm has been described as corner-to-corner excellent, even wide open. Several reviewers have specifically called it an underrated gem, noting it doesn't get nearly the attention it deserves, given how versatile the range is for everything from cityscapes to portraits to street photography. For creators who value reach on the wide end more than a fast aperture, this lens is consistently recommended as one of the smartest hybrid choices on the Sony system. The Canon RF 35mm f1.4 LVCM closes out this list as the prime lens every hybrid shooter should have in their bag, and it's been called nothing short of a reinvention of a Canon classic. Built around a new voice coil motor paired with nano USM, this lens delivers incredibly fast, silent, and precise autofocus that's just as smooth in video as it is snappy for stills. Reviewers have highlighted its virtually non-existent focus breathing as a standout feature for filmmakers doing manual focus pulls, and its stepless, permanently declicked aperture ring makes exposure adjustments completely silent while recording. On the photography side, testers describe it as sharp across the frame straight out of the gate, even outperforming the older EF version and offering vibrant colors with excellent contrast wide open at f1.4. It's also noticeably smaller and lighter than its DSLR-era predecessor, while somehow costing less. Long-term owners have called it a lens that holds a special place as the first in Canon's hybrid VCM Prime series, and it's frequently praised for producing cinematic soft bokeh thanks to its 11-blade iris. For anyone who wants one prime lens that genuinely performs at a professional level for both photography and cinema-style video, this is the one the community keeps coming back to. So let's do a quick recap of who each of these lenses is really built for. If you want the absolute best cinema-grade zoom and budget isn't a concern, go with the Canon RF24 to 105mm f2.8 LZ. If you want the most balanced, portable, all-round workhorse, the Sony 24 to 70mm GM2 is hard to beat. If you're a solo creator or vlogger who wants power zoom without the bulk, the Canon RF 20 to 50mm PZ is perfect. If you want maximum value and reach for events and weddings, grab the Sigma 28 to 105mm Art. If wide-angle versatility and lightweight matter most to you, the Sony 20 to 70mm G is your pick. And if you just need one incredible hybrid prime in your bag, the Canon RF 35mm f1.4 LVCM will not disappoint. Across the board, the response from the photo and video community to these 6 lenses has been overwhelmingly positive. Owners of the Canon RF 35mm VCM regularly leave 5-star reviews, with several buyers specifically saying the ability to use one lens for both video and photo is exactly what drew them in, and that it delivered on both fronts. Sony 24 to 70mm. GM2 users on hybrid travel trips describe the autofocus as flawless across months of continuous shooting. The Sigma 28 to 105mm has built a strong following among wedding and event shooters who praise its price-to-performance ratio compared to first-party alternatives, and the newer Canon RF 20 to 50mm PZ has been especially well received within the Canon community for finally bringing true internal power zoom to an L-series lens. Simply put, creators aren't just buying these lenses, they're building their entire hybrid kits around them. And that's the list. 6 lenses that genuinely deserve the hybrid label, whether you're shooting a wedding, a travel vlog, or a cinematic short film. Which one of these is already in your bag, or which one are you adding next? Drop it in the comments below, I'd love to know. If this video helped you narrow down your next lens purchase, smash that like button, and subscribe for more in-depth gear breakdowns like this one. See you in the next video.